everyone, and welcome to Tilt. I'm very hyped to be back this week. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out our opening links. There you can find merch, Discord, YouTube, Twitter, and all those other good social places you can come and find us. Patreon and other merch where you can go and support us. Our sponsors, Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, whom we're very grateful to for all of their support. They make this possible. And also there's a whole bunch of websites where you can get 10 to 15% discount using our special codes. The codes are listed below the stream. Also, please go and retweet the tweet because it really does help us get the word out there. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Then we'll talk a little bit about how we've changed donations for the month. And then we'll throw straight into the narrative. So let's start with our wonderful dungeon master. Oh, hi, Kelly.
Oh, hi. Hi, guys. I'm Kelly, a Kelly Lane on Twitter, a Kelly in chat. You can find me here Mondays. You can find me here Wednesdays. You can find me on Wandering DM on Saturdays. You can find me on Scrat's Patreon, writing blog posts. More to come soon. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. Let's go clockwise round and go next to Ray with a brick.
Hey, I'm with a brick. I'm Ray. I play Ipsis. She's an arcane tiefling arcane trickster rogue. Wow, that's a mouthful. Super excited to get back into it and see what kind of other beautiful, wonderful worlds we travel to and explore, because every week it's getting better and better and more interesting. So I'm very excited to see where the party ends up this week.
Indeed, indeed. Next round, me. Hi, I'm playing Lon's Delight. She's a protection fighter and begrudging warlock. Yeah, lots more there, but we'll unpack that as we go. Next round, we come to Jess, Little Cup of Joe.
Hello, I'm Jess. I'm Little Cup of Joe. I'm also Sandor, the total garbage can human barbarian, who has been missing for the last 2 weeks, because I've been missing for the last 2 weeks. I have been found. Let's find out what happens to him, I guess.
Oh boy. Last but most certainly not least, Vera will be with us shortly. They are currently attending to horsey things, I think, which is really cool. But I'm posting their Twitter now. You should go and check them out. They do art and all sorts of other things, and you can find them here every Monday. Donations and things. We've changed up the donations. We got rid of the rerolls and the critical coin flips and the complications. But we kept the temporary HP. Still £1 for temporary HP if you want to grant us some temporary HP. It's now £3 to gift an advantage, which a player can call before they roll rather. £5 for a disadvantage, which the DM can call on us at any given time. I
can see you are ready to learn.
Michael Wayne, thank you very much for the Patreon. 6 months, and you have £5 to spend, and with that you can grant someone a disadvantage. £10 gifts an automatic success, but not a critical success. Definition there. And £20 gifts a random roll on a table of Kelly's choice, and £50 gets everyone to roll on the table. That is most of the updates. Let's hand back over to Kelly. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. So, are we all comfy? Are we all cozy? Are we all ready to go? So, quick recap. Last week, we found everyone but Sandor making their way out of this magical garden competition that they had fallen into, which I'm sure we will get to hear about today as they try and hopefully fill Sandor in. Hopefully we get the party back together. As they were heading out, they tracked the star that had fallen, and they found out that it wasn't a star. Instead, it was some kind of book. As they touched it, we had some players get kind of thrown backwards. Ipsis got knocked out briefly. But of course, Ransom couldn't leave it behind, snagged it, bagged it, tagged it, found out it was written in Celestial and realized they couldn't read it. So, as they were heading back to midnight, hopefully, they saw one of these cracks in space, maybe, that had through it a city that Ransom recognized, where he had left behind Sylvanas, who was his kind of adopted little brother. And the city was crumbling and falling apart. They ended up jumping through the crack, ended up back in real world, and to the city collapsing around them. They managed to meet up with Sylvanas. They managed to help some locals. They found out that there were a lot of people asking a lot of questions around town, some familiar faces that they wanted to maybe find the next morning, and then everybody seemed to tuck in for the night. But we are actually going to begin this episode by going back 2 weeks. Is that Mike? Yep. By going back 2 weeks and getting a peek at where Sandor went to this whole time.
Mystery.
Big mystery. What the party who was present, what they experienced as a recap there is they kind of went to bed at midnight. Everybody took a watch. Sandor took last watch. And when everybody else woke up in the morning, Sandor was gone. However, there was a window cracked open. There was some bits of thread. They went and asked around. Nobody had seen Sandor. Nobody had heard from him. They went outside. They saw all these different footprints, including those of a smaller humanoid, as well as several humanoids kind of walking up to this window and walking away. As they began to follow some of these tracks walking away from midnight, they found Sandor's flask on the ground. This led everyone to believe, as Vera put it, that he had been barbarian napped. They followed these tracks off into the woods. They ran into a statue, and that's where they got immediately distracted by the garden. However, they weren't able to find the rest of the footsteps, and it seems like the group that they were following just kind of faded into the snow. However, Sandor, what you experience, and I'm going to be a bit narrative here to kind of fill in the gaps and make sure everybody gets to the same place at the same time. So as you're sitting watch, kind of trying to find a good spot to keep an eye on the door of the room, maybe taking a swig from your flask, you feel a pinprick in your neck. And you also feel like a cold draft, as if the window had been opened. And you turn to look, and you see the window flung open. As you reach up to your neck and pull this dart out, begin to feel your body seize up a little bit.
Excellent.
And then, as you can't seem to move, but you're awake, you kind of levitate up like someone is holding you, and you are carried out the window.
Cool.
And when you reach the ground below, you recognize two people who you've interacted with before. Johann and his supposed sister are standing there. The sister kind of throws you over her shoulder, and they are arguing. And she is telling him how stupid of an idea this was. She's like, this is just dumb. Like, you don't even have a plan. Like, you're just making stuff up as you go along, and I don't even know what are we even doing? It's like, trust me, everything will be fine. And she's like, I don't even know the point of this. This arguing is happening, and you remember some of what's going on, but whatever this dart is has made you kind of woozy. You're not able to move, and it's making it almost a little hard to breathe, so you're feeling really tired and worn down. But you do, at one point, they stop, and they're arguing again, and you're just kind of sitting there. And you see a small figure kind of come up to you as you are hanging over this person's back. And they're like, shh, they reach into your pocket and drop your flask on the ground, and you recognize Soren.
Okay.
Who has helped leave a clue of where you went for everyone else to find. And Soren then pats you on the head and disappears.
Okay. Cool. So that's fine. GG,
Anyway.
Soren. To help. But also, I'm gonna be thirsty.
And you are kind of carried through the snow. And as you're able to look around a little bit, kind of in your peripheral, you reach a spot in the woods where you notice that things are looking weird. You see hedges, almost like they had been trimmed. You see stonework. There's statues kind of popping up in the forest, in the tree line. But neither of the two people that you're with seem to notice. And in fact, at one point, you actually pass through a statue. And nobody seems to see anything but you there.
Okay.
And they keep heading into the woods until they reach the edge of a spring. And in this pool of water, they pause. They kind of throw you down on the ground. And the sister says, we should tie him up at this point. We don't know how long that stuff is going to last. And they're like, yeah. And you feel kind of ropes bind your wrists. And you start to feel yourself come to. You start to be able to, you're wiggling some fingers, you're wiggling some toes, but you don't feel like you can kind of stand up on your own yet. But thankfully, you start to gain more feeling just in time for them to throw you into this pool of water. And they dive in after you. And just like before, you feel this pressure, like you're underwater, and then a release of that sensation. And your head pops up. And as you look around, you don't seem to be in the snowy woods anymore. In fact, you seem to be in a small lake outside of town, out of a large city. You recognize this place as one of the many cities from your home country. And they begin to take you towards the city, towards the slums. But at this point, you're able to walk on your own. So this is where you can start diving in.
All right. Neat. So, tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Am I disarmed? Were they smart enough to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
They were smart enough to take your primary weapons, but they didn't really give you a good search.
That's okay. They can't take away my fists and I can punch. So all right. Well, I think if he's come to and they've got him on his feet to start walking, he's pretty much just dug his feet in and he's not gonna budge. Seriously?
So, and Johan looks at his sister and he's like, Adele, will you fix that? And she tries to pick you up.
Cool. I'm gonna try to not let her do that by ducking and weaving as much as possible.
Okay.
What if anything should I roll for this?
So if you're gonna try and kind of squirm out, let's roll that acrobatics, I guess.
Okay. Boop. Meh.
And you try and duck and weave, but you aren't really able to squirm out of her grasp. But she just kind of like wraps both arms around you and like picks you up and starts kind of strong arming you.
Cool. I'm gonna kick her.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I guess an unarmed.
Yeah. Okay, roll that damage for me.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, oops.
So
Ignore
just
the
a
rage
second.
modifier. Didn't mean to have that still turned
Let's
on.
see how well she handles this pain. And so you are able to kick her and you get her like square in the kneecap, right? Like, and she goes down. She's struggling from this pain, but she's still trying to hold on to you, basically. So you can try and squirm out of her grasp if you want to. You are bound though, so I'm gonna say that this would be a disadvantage.
Sure. No, I think I'm just gonna straight up crack back and headbutt her. So I'll
Okay,
attack
roll
again.
that damage again. Or roll that attack roll again.
Listen, I know what my skills are.
Okay, roll that damage for me. Okay, and you have she's kind of like down on both knees and her nose is bloodied. And she's kind of like dazed a little bit. Like you've given her a really good thwack.
Sweet. Did she let go? Because I'm gonna start running if she did.
And she did let go.
Cool. Yeah, I'm booking it. I can figure out how to untie my arms later.
So let's see if you can outrun roll I guess for this we'll just use acrobatics again because you're trying to run
So,
I'm
you want
better
to be
at
a maid?
athletics.
Wanna fight?
Okay, that's
I can
fine.
show you how to be a shield.
And as you stand up and kind of shake yourself off and try and run, Johan is struggling to catch up with you. He like goes off, but I think he is still carrying your swords. And probably doesn't know how to manage all of them, and I think he kind of trips over one and face plants first into what you realize is sand.
Excellent.
And it's warm outside. It's very hot here. And you manage to head up. Are you running towards the city or out into the desert?
Well, I kind of want to get my swords back, to be perfectly honest. I think if he's sufficiently face planted, am I tied in front or in back, or like what's the situation
How
here?
competent are these people? That's really the question in hand, right? I think you're probably tied with your hands in front.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna just swing back around and if I can
Looks
get
like
to
we got
them,
another
kick my
friend.
swords up to hand and at least run off with those. I don't care about anything else.
So if you try to go back for them, they are, while he's tripped over them, he's still holding them.
Okay.
So you would have to kind of figure out how to engage with Johan, who has your swords.
Welcome, Madam
Hi.
Gandalf and Raiders!
Looks like we
Oh,
got another
hi! Thank you
friend.
so much for that huge raid. Welcome, everyone. We're just getting started here as we figure out what's happened to Sandor, who's been missing for a couple of weeks. Sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
Yeah. Well, he's on the ground. I have no compunction about kicking a man when he's down. I'm gonna kick him too.
Okay,
I'm
and you can roll
swords.
that with advantage because he's essentially prone.
That's fine. I'm sorry, I'm a dick.
And roll that damage for me.
Sure. Like, he's not gonna kick him to do too much harm. He just wants him to let go of the swords.
And I think that's how are you? Yeah, you're pretty much maxing out on those. Nearly. So you kick him square in the stomach, right? Like right in the soft tissue.
Yep.
and he groans and doubles over and lets go of everything, and so you could probably snag them, but you will have to manage to run off again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you.
Yeah, I'll kick them up to hand and kind of seize them to the best of my ability, and just sort of tell him, "No means no," and start running.
And which direction are you running towards town, or are you running away from
Yeah,
town?
I think I'm gonna run into town so I can find a alleyway to duck into.
Okay. So first roll, give me that athletics again.
Sure. Come on.
And Johan catches up to you. Oh no, he's prone. He's gonna get that. I'm gonna have him take that 11 because he has to get up first. So he tries to catch up to you. He managed to get up and brush himself off, and he seems to be kind of booking it after you, but you hit town well before he does. So you can try to hide. The city that you're looking at is mostly it's a stonework city, and it is very much a city. And you've got the buildings aren't huge. They're not stories and stories tall, but there's a lot of 1- and 2-story like low buildings. You're kind of in a rough area. They seem to be crumbling a little bit. But it's and here's very tight. Like you don't see, it's not like you're coming up on the market square or anything. They've kind of taken you through the shady side of town. So there's lots of different alleyways that you can duck into if you would like to try to do that.
Yeah, he'll try to find an alleyway to kind of duck in and hopefully lose them, and give a quick glance in before diving in to make sure it's unpopulated. And if there's like a crate or something I can duck behind, he's gonna do that so he can try to pop a sword and untie himself.
Okay. I'm gonna say that because you hit the city before Johan did, that you can pretty much kind of duck and weave far enough into these alleyways so that it's going to be hard for him to find you. Like he probably knows the general direction in which you went. He went towards the left, but very quickly it's not going to be hard to lose him in this kind of area.
Cool.
And you can, given that you know your way around a sword, I think it's going to be pretty easy for you to get out of.
There's a little bit of like footwork involved to like to kick it out of the sheath, but once he gets it just enough of the blade, he's gonna just saw off the ropes and arm.
And that's where you're at. So you're now kind of in this city.
Cool.
It seems to be you guys were wandering through the woods for quite a long time. It took a very long time for you to get kind of into this pool, kind of coming back, kind of running up to the city. By the time you get your ropes undone, it's probably the sun is probably coming up for the next day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so you're in.
I think he's going to keep an eye out and see if the other two, if Johan and his sister, I say with giant air quotes in my voice, are still poking around trying to find him.
Okay. Are you just kind of listening to see if they're trying to follow you, or?
Yes, because if Johan gets nosy in the area where I'm at, I want to ambush him. Getting real tired of this guy.
Okay. And roll that perception for me.
Oh, yes, that is the thing I am extremely good at. Not really.
and you don't really hear anything. You imagine that they're probably trying to find you, but it's hard for you to tell where they're at or
Okay.
if they're getting close or anything like that.
All right.
I would give you that it's a pretty good sense that they know at least the direction that you went in.
Sure.
So,
All right. Well, is this a city I've been in before, or just one I know of?
What are the kinds of places that Sandor would like to travel to when he was wandering around?
He pretty much just picked a direction and walked. So
to?
anything is up for grabs. He's probably been traveling on his own for about 2 years.
Okay. I'd say you've probably never been here, but you get kind of where you are. Like this,
Okay.
you know that you're kind of in your home country, kind of generally the layout of towns like this one.
Okay.
It seems, and you recognize pretty quickly just from your view of the town as you were kind of coming up to it, the fact that there are no noticeable really large buildings, nothing like that, means it's not like the capital. It's not
For sure.
but it seems big. Like it's a city, but it's not a city of kind of major political import or anything like that.
Good. That's good news. All right. Well, I think he was mostly aware, if a little like rattled from whatever they doped him up with, but would he have been able to can I backtrack, I guess is the question, to where they arrived at?
You would probably be able to get back to the pool of water that they had come through. Because you were pretty aware at that point, like things were rubbing off. But the idea of trying to get back, if you were to completely backtrack, the idea of trying to get back from wherever they went back to midnight, for example, doesn't seem
might be a stretch. Okay.
Yeah. You could maybe get lucky.
Well, here goes. Yeah, he's gonna probably backtrack, I think. Carefully stepping out of the alley. Keeping a casual walk and keeping his head on a bit of a swivel to see if these two turn up. He wants to be ready for them if they do, but he's going to try to make his way back toward the pool of water to figure out what the hell to do from there, maybe.
And as you step out of this kind of alley and look around, you hear a commotion happening somewhat farther away. It seems like a few streets down. There's some kind of hubbub. You hear kind of yelling and chattering, and in fact, you recognize Adele's voice. It sounds like they've gotten up to something. And then very suddenly appearing behind you is someone that you recognize. And you feel the presence that somebody has just appeared behind you. And as you swivel to turn, you recognize the monk who had walked you guys up the mountain.
Okay. The hell? What are you doing here?
You're not going to be able to get back in that way.
Okay. And you know a way?
Yeah, I mean, I can get you back. We should wait till tomorrow. We need to wait till it's dark. I can get you back. And besides, pretty good odds that your friends are going to get here.
Stop me if I'm wrong, but didn't you get smoked?
Spanked is more accurate of a description. I got yelled at. I might get yelled at again, actually, but
All right, sure. Yeah, okay. I'll buy. Tomorrow?
I said, yeah. Yeah. Let's get you. You look like you've had a rough one.
That's every day, so sure.
Uh,
But I could use a drink. How about you?
I think we can manage that much. And she kind of leads you away. She's like, I set Johann's cloak on fire, so there'll be a minute.
Nice one.
I try. But come on, before they catch up, I don't want to.
Right.
That.
He
And
follow her.
And she kind of walks you back, kind of towards the main city. She passes a very large temple, and takes a brief moment to just kind of like give her respects, basically, to the temple, and keeps walking along. And it looks like you can hear the sounds of tavernness coming out from one area in front of you. However, you've been walking for a little while, and at about this time, the ground begins to shake beneath you.
Cool.
And
He's
rumble.
fairly steady-footed, so he's going to widen his stance a bit to ground himself and take a look around.
And as you kind of try and catch your footing, you realize that was just the first of much shaking. And the ground seems to be quaking, and you can actually hear the crumbling of buildings around you. And Ariel, the monk, takes you by the elbow, basically, and turns and tries to drag you into the temple, where there's these strong pillars kind of holding up the walls, and tries to get you covered.
Yep, he'll go.
And you kind of dive into this temple together, and you're kind of huddling with these two between some pillars that seem to be holding up the ceiling. And she's like, we really need to get you guys all back together.
Do you have an explanation for this? Because I'm real curious right now.
So, I mean, the group... And she takes a moment. And it looks almost like she's like mouthing words, like she's having like a conversation with herself a little bit. That's what it looks like.
You okay?
And then she's like, I just had to argue semantics. Your group right now is in the middle of dealing with part of the competition that's happening back in Dusk. It's a competition between the gods. It's very dramatic, but it's going on too long, and it's using up too much power. There's too much of it loose, and it is ripping things apart and causing earthquakes in places where there shouldn't be earthquakes.
Like here.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a snowstorm last week.
Here?
Mhm.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what? Weird magic? Is that basically what I'm understanding?
Yes, draining life force of the universe.
Okay. And he sort of like reaches habitually for his flask, and then we just sort of hear him say several not nice words under his breath, realizing that it's empty and not there. And damn it. Okay, so wait, how the hell are we all involved in this?
She takes a moment. Prophecies?
Ugh.
The rest of your party seem to react the same way.
Yeah, well, not really interested, but whatever. That's a conversation for later when I find them.
Mm.
Is this shit gonna happen again?
It might happen later today. It's hard to say. It's unpredictable at best. You know, we
Great.
might also get like a flood. It's hard.
How are you at swimming?
Pretty good.
Okay, good to know.
You want that drink?
I want several of those drinks. How about you?
Okay. Yeah, let's go do that. And the ground has kind of settled at this point, and she kind of leads you to the tavern. A tavern that looks to you very familiar at this point.
Cool.
And she walks in and she's like, home. And you are back at midnight.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's really convenient to be able to have this pop up whenever we need it. And she goes behind the counter and she starts pouring you drinks.
You know what? I'm not gonna ask. Liquor's liquor. I'll take it. And he just like grabs the first one that comes up and knocks it back, not uttering a single word until he is done with that entire drink.
And I imagine you spend quite a bit of time like this. Sandor being Sandor. In fact, you
for last time.
You are here as some glasses fall off the wall and you hear screaming and shouting from out in the street as the ground begins to shake again later in the day. This one seems much more violent than the previous. You actually can hear in the distance as some buildings crumble. The patrons all in this tavern kind of dive beneath tables, beneath the bar. I imagine Sandor does as well while taking.
Yep, he'll rescue a tankard and dive under the table with it.
And after this next wave passes, Ariel kind of walks behind the bar and she grabs a set of keys that look to be to a room and tosses them at you.
Thanks.
I'll see about getting you back tomorrow.
Well, I owe you one, I guess.
No, you have no idea.
Would I like to?
Hard to say.
Great. Well, I'm gonna go take a nap. And he'll head to the room
So,
to
you want to
decompress
be a
after all that
fighter?
interesting
I
day.
can show you how to be a shield.
And we are going to pan back to the next morning, to the rest of our party who is waking up in the forge.
As we do, thank you
So,
very much,
you want
Stefan
to be a
TJ,
mage or a
who's just
fighter?
gifted 5
I
subs.
can show you how to be a
Gidget
shield.
Wish, Tavern Tales Podcast, Irene Mayer, Alice, and Zane Kyber, you all have advantages to gift. Thank you so much.
Cool.
So, do you want to be a mage or a fighter? I can show you how to be a shield.
And so we're back with the other three of you, I believe, at the forge, trying to decide what to do. You've heard whispers that Johan and his female compatriot
So,
are
do you
around
want to be a mage or a
town.
fighter?
They've been asking questions.
I can show you how to be a shield.
You also know that Ariel, the monk that took you up the mountain, has been spotted here. And you know that there is more afoot than it seems.
So, do you want to be a mage or a fighter?
What would you guys like
I
to
can
do?
show you how to be a shield.
we just woke up from a long rest, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me change that real quick. 'Cause your girl got some hit points last time.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
I don't know. We're in a strange place, right? We protected everyone from the, earthquake, so I guess we wake up feeling good about ourselves, but also concerned about Sandor.
Ransom did not sleep well. He's stressed about Sylvanas, he's stressed about Sandor, he's stressed about Johan, and he's stressed about the freaking game.
So I guess waking up, Lonsdelight would first check over people, and if Ipsis slept well, she'd look towards Ransom and be like, "Oh, Ransom, you've gone from not caring at all to caring too much. You need to sleep.
There's a lot
otherwise
going on. There's a
otherwise-
lot going on.
The people that care about you, how would they feel if you turn up and you're all tired and..."
You realize I always look like I'm exhausted, right?
Not like this.
It's just a lot at once right now. Let's put it this way. There are more people alive and in my vicinity that I care about right now than there have been at any point in my life. And that is stressful.
A good stress?
I was gonna say, I think at this point, Ipsis would kind of like wake up and like walk in wherever they all are. So, did anyone else freak out this morning when they woke up and they weren't in midnight?
I think that's the one thing that didn't freak me out.
Which is weird considering that normally I don't wake up there, and that's just been like a thing that happens lately. I don't know. I forgot where we were for a second and what all happened. I must have slept really well, I guess. But
And
how are you all?
Lonsdelight is suddenly taken aback. Did she sleep well, Kelly?
Yeah.
So she's doubly taken aback. First of all, because she slept well, but secondly, because it came naturally. She didn't even notice that she slept well. She just kind of woke up and was more concerned about Ransom than anything else, and that's weird.
You look good, actually, for once.
Did you sleep, Lons?
I did. I slept very well.
Good. You deserve a good night of rest.
But that's strange. Why? Oh no, now I'm suspicious.
Do you think it could be potentially because we're in the real world and not this crazy disappearing and reappearing bar that we've been spending time in, but like an actual city?
Perhaps.
Maybe because you changed planes so unexpectedly, it threw off your, unwanted bond a little bit.
That could be true too.
You
I
mean
mean,
she
I don't
can't
know
see me
anything
right
about
now?
that. Is it something that you should worry about?
Honestly, I don't know enough about magic or anything like that to know.
I wouldn't worry about it too much at the moment unless it proves to be harmful soon.
And I guess just keep a track of it. See if you sleep well tonight. How about you, Ransom? Are you okay?
I will be. When we figure everything out. When I'm sure Sylv is safe, when we find Sandor, when I finally get the answers that I've been craving about this gods be damned gods game.
Yeah, that's all real still too. Awesome. Cool. Perfect.
Exactly. Is Sylve around?
You probably saw him duck out briefly while you guys were chatting and kind of into a back room. He comes back up with some snacks, maybe some things of water or something for each of you, and he's just like, I mean, it's all we got here. I don't really know what else I can do to help. And I can point you in the direction of where those people kept asking questions.
I think we need to decide if we're gonna go after the monk or go after the people first.
Well,
What's closer?
Well, the monks usually at the temple, or at least that's where I've seen her the most. And there's a new tavern that opened up nearby it, so she might be staying there. I don't know. That's pretty close by. But then there's the people just keep asking questions around the marketplace.
Okay. So we can
I
probably
don't know what
find
the
them
odds
there.
are.
Probably find them there if they're not exactly good at their jobs. And seeing as you say they aren't, I trust your judgment. You say new tavern. Just humor me. I don't suppose the name is Midnight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It just kind of like popped
It
up
just
a couple
appeared?
months ago. Yeah, like yesterday. It opened. Like yesterday morning, I think. I don't know. I just noticed that it used to be Manny's, and then the signs were all changed.
Great. We could always stop at midnight first and then figure out everything if Ariel might be there.
Midnight is here to. It's always midnight.
And to be
That's what the
fair,
sign says.
oh goodness.
Yeah, it's much more literal than you think, Sylve. This
Oh,
is gonna be our fourth run-in with midnight.
how? I mean,
Exactly.
but it just opened.
It pops up places.
It's a whole thing.
Maybe if we.
Yeah.
Do you think if midnight appears everywhere, maybe if we go to midnight, we can go into midnight here and reappear where we left Maritza?
Maybe she's in midnight.
That's
I really
also a
hope so.
possibility.
Let's go check midnight and see if Lonza's girlfriend is there then.
I
Somebody
mean, Lonza's girlfriend might be there, and so might Sandor. I mean, if
We're not that
somehow
lucky.
wherever he is, I don't know. I mean,
Do you think that sort of luck happens in real life?
We're not that
no,
lucky. I think maybe
No.
Maritza will be there, but I really doubt Sandor.
If Maritza's there, we're probably going to be there for a little bit. So
It'll be fine. At least Launcelot will get a good morning out of it. Gods above. Sylve,
Looks like
do
we got
you
a new
want to? Are you going
friend.
to stay here, or?
I mean, I guess I can go with you if you
No,
want.
it's-
I mean, well, if you guys go to this tavern and then you need to find those people, I can try and point them out to you, or I don't know, whatever you think.
What do you two think?
More raid.
Welcome,
Woo,
Raiders! Thank you so
raid!
much for the raid!
raid.
There we go. That's the heart.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if we're going and you think it's safe, then might as well bring him along. I mean, if he's kind of interested about what Midnight's all about, might as well just take him along to
Stick
Midnight.
around. I might be able to
I'll
teach
just
you.
keep my hood low so that we can make sure he still isn't associated with me.
And they are a blacksmith. They're very useful.
You're just in town.
I
Thank
tried.
you
Enjoy
very
the
much,
video.
Staffan, who's donated another 5 random subs. Thank you so
Whoa.
much.
Wow.
All the love coming out tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Generated, that Maestro guy, the Deuce, Madame Gandalf, and Kism Eclipsed. You each have advantages to gift. Just let us know who you want to have them.
Might be able to teach you a few things.
So do you want me to come with then?
Yeah.
I would
Awesome.
very much like for you to come with us, Sylvanas.
Yeah, you seem really interested in my profession.
Lons likes weapons. Very much.
Oh, you might like my
Really good
sword.
with them.
And I will produce my sword for them to inspect. Do you work
Would
with
you like to-
swords?
Yeah, I mostly just work on the basics at the moment. I'm not ready to do anything too fancy.
You will
just-
be, though.
Believe in yourself.
No,
And
I mean, I'll get there. I've just only been an apprentice for like a year.
He's gonna be grand at it.
And I will pass them my vicious longsword.
Oh, this is really fine. Where'd you get this from?
That's a long story. But I got this one from my sister, and I produced the vicious dagger.
Is that the one that stabbed Ipsis?
Yes.
Get that thing away from me.
That's essentially how she gives gifts to Ipsis. I wouldn't worry. She didn't kill you, that means she likes you.
No, I don't think she likes me. I think that was more of a warning to stay away from you and everything else. But we'll just say it was a really awesome gift.
And Sylvanas is looking back and forth between the two of you, talking about daggers in the back and gifts, and he looks at Ransom and is like, "Who are these people again?"
To be entirely honest, I still don't know very much. I just know that for some strange reason I trust them. Ugh.
Well,
I know.
that's a first. So
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just as freaked out as you are. He's gonna ruffle Sylv's hair just because he can.
Well, yeah, one day you're gonna have to stop doing that. I'm not 12 anymore.
I'll stop doing it when you can stop me.
And he Sylvanas kind of takes the vicious longsword that Lons has allowed him to hold, and he takes kind of a few practice swings, and he switches hands and takes a few practice swings with the other. And it definitely looks like he knows, to stick them with the pointy end at minimum. Right? He seems fairly competent. It's not like, ooh, impressive, but it's surprising that he knows how to use it with both hands, and seems to have gained some skills since you last saw him, Ransom.
And you said a traveling swords teacher taught you?
Mhm. Yeah.
Would you say...
He just came by.
Would you say that when he's practicing with the sword, it's like a particularly aggressive style that might remind us of Sandor to further confirm our suspicions that a left-handed swordsman might have been the same person who trained both of them?
I would venture to say Sandor doesn't have a style.
Damn it, Jess!
I think that answers that question.
Damn it!
And then immediately forgot
Holy
all.
crap!
Oh! What just happened?
What just happened?
Staffan just gifted another 20 subs!
Whoa! Oh!
There's so much love and hype and all the greatness here today, and that just makes my heart so full.
Thank you so much.
Why is everyone amazing tonight? Holy crap!
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Wow!
New subs, you have an advantage to gift. Just let us know in chat who you would like to get them. Staffan, thank you so much.
Damn. Just wow.
Wow!
I am going to silence the notifications in case it interrupts play, but the notifications will still keep popping up. I'll turn the notifications back on once it's finished. Thank you so much.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Boom.
Everyone here is amazing.
Cough, best audience, cough.
Where were we?
Sylvana's taking the swings.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so there isn't anything particularly notable about it. He answers Lancelot kind of asked him about, or who asked him about this traveling.
That was me.
Oh, and he just kind of looks. He's like, yeah, I mean, he was only in town for a little while, but he gave me a few lessons. Stopped by the forge to look at our wares and seemed to said all the nice things about me and seemed to offered some pointers, but that was it. I don't know if he's still around or not.
I'm trying to remember how much Sandor told us about his teacher.
Not much.
Basically nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he mentioned that he was taught by like a two-handed swordsman, and that was like it.
Yeah, I remember him opening up a little when we had that time alone at the camp in the cave.
Yeah.
Yep. He didn't give a name, nothing. If I recall correctly, I think he basically just mentioned that like this guy taught him when nobody else would because he was a lefty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it.
So I imagine Lancelot would be sort of like looking at either Ransom or Ipsis to see if any of them are going to do the conspirator look, and then maybe it's a coincidence shrug.
Ransom definitely meets Lancelot's gaze, and he's paranoid about everything. It's the look.
And I would just shrug.
Did I say something?
Nothing bad.
Bless this child.
Look, I would die for Sylvanas, okay? Straight up!
I've known Sylvanas for 30 seconds and I want to protect them.
Sylvanas, I wonder, I've known many swordsmen, but not many left-handed. Do you know the name of the person who taught you?
I don't know if he ever gave his name. He was just a nice guy that came by the shop.
They didn't like have a school or anything like that.
Oh no, he said that he kind of just travels alone. That he's been to a lot of places. I got so wrapped up in the stories that he was telling that I kind of didn't realize that he didn't share his name until just now.
Well, you've always been one for. You're sorry. Come on.
I'm not doing a very good job.
You have done a better job than even I anticipated, and I've always had full faith in you. You've already given us information that's going to help.
Oh, well. Yay!
I'm the spy master here. You're doing a fantastic job, and you haven't done anything wrong. We all make mistakes, even I do.
Thank you. Well.
Jess!
Well, anyway, here, it's your store back. Lancelot.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
I usually swing it a little more defensively than you do, but yes. It does the job.
So, was I gonna take you to that tavern place?
Yes. And he's gonna pull his hood down so far you can barely see his face.
And he goes like, okay, give me 1 second. And he goes and kind of like wanders around the shop, kind of locking up things, attempts to turn down the forge so it's not burning so brightly, and kind of does a few things, and then kind of grabs a pack and heads out. He's like, okay, let's go. And leads you out the door and down the street a little ways. And we're gonna pan back to Sandor. How was your morning, Sandor?
All things considered, probably fine. A little bit of a headache, I'm sure.
As
You
per
don't
usual.
say. He's drinking some water to work it off, and we'll chase it immediately with alcohol as he does. Where is Ariel?
So she did seem to have taken probably her own room. You probably watched her kind of disappear in a room down the hall, which now, if you kind of wander over there, the door's open, it looks empty.
Okay. He will wait and fish at least to make sure he's got a little bit of coin from somewhere to get at least some breakfast before he's gonna give her time to show back up.
Okay.
Before attempting to like head out on his own. So he's gonna loiter in the inn.
Good.
Convenient.
He doesn't really do anything in a hurry.
No.
No.
This is also very like on brand for Sandor. Like, why rush?
There's no hurry.
He'll find them, they'll find him, he'll figure it out. It's fine.
Or they won't, and that's fine too.
That's also fine, yeah.
And as you kind of head downstairs to get breakfast, you see a very familiar mop of purple hair kind of bouncing along behind the bar.
Morning.
Oh, hello! You want your usual?
Yes, please.
Okay, I got you. I'll be right back.
Toss a couple of coins onto the bar and find a table. Kind of just drag the chair out with his foot and plop on down, swords on the table.
And you, after maybe 5 or 10 minutes pass, Soren kind of comes back from the back, from the kitchen, as per usual, and she's got this giant tray with a bunch of food and sets it down. And it looks like it's enough food for like a huge number of people. But then also takes out a tankard, a very large one, and sets it right next to you.
He takes up that part first. We expecting company?
I have a good feeling. My feelings are usually correct.
Okay, because otherwise I was gonna say you're being exceedingly generous today and was wondering what I did to deserve it.
I mean, I don't think it's what you did. I think it's what you're gonna do.
Okay. He's just gonna reach for like
Oh, look!
some bread and start chewing.
And a few more patrons kind of come in through the door, and Soren kind of bustles away and is helping them, offering breakfast and stuff like that. A few more weird, sleepy-eyed people come in from downstairs, come down from upstairs. I don't know what Scrat's making this face for.
Staffan just smashed our stream goal with a £50 donation. We all need to roll on the random roll table and just shower this wonderful, wonderful patron of ours this evening. So much love. Thank you, Staffan.
Staffan, you are so amazing.
Wow.
That's a roll for everyone.
Wow.
I am going to hold those rolls till we get the party back together.
Fair. Totally fair. Oh, and they had a message as well. It said the hero plane requires everyone to realize their limitations.
What?
Cryptic. I like it. It's very on brand.
I like cryptic when I'm being
It's
cryptic.
so
When other
good.
people are cryptic, it scares me.
That's so good.
I ain't worried.
Okay. Yeah, I will remember that. Okay. So a little while passes. Sandor, you're able to kind of nurse this mug, this tankard. However, Soren probably comes back at least once to refill it for you.
I think when she comes back that second time, he's gonna kind of catch her by the arm and just be like, "So, my flask."
Oh, yeah. I wanted to make sure that everybody figured out where everybody was. I'm sure they've got it.
Figured it out?
I have a good feeling.
Wait, so... And he kind of looks around this place, glancing to the window. So where the fuck were we, and where the hell are we?
Well, you were in dawn, and then in dusk, and then in the forest. And now you're home. Well, you know. Material
Right,
point.
yeah. Oh. Okay. It's too early for this shit. Okay, I'm just... Yeah, okay. I guess if you're nearby, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it. And she kind of stops, and she seems to be talking to herself a little bit. Carry the 2. I'd give it like 5 minutes.
Oh, well, I'm not in any hurry.
Okay, well, and we'll pan back to the rest of the group, who's kind of walking along. Ransom, very covered.
Yeah.
And,
This is not ideal.
And Sylvanas is like, "Oh, it's right up there."
Yep, that's midnight.
And it looks exactly the same.
You know, it's oddly comforting to see midnight again. I don't know. Everything going on lately has been kind of crazy, so seeing one constant is nice.
I suppose
Are
you're not
you-
wrong.
Are you nervous for potentially seeing Maritza Lawns? Are you doing okay?
I'm nervous for seeing Maritza. I'm concerned she will be angry. But I'm excited to see Midnight. And Soren's, she's hot.
Depending on how long we've been... depending on times working the same, we've only been gone a day, so I don't think Maritza will be too angry if she's there.
But we did also say that we would look after her and that we would be adventurous because she is not very used to adventuring. And then Act 1, Scene 1, we ghost.
Yeah, we totally left her alone.
Okay, but also we would not have been able to defend her half as well without our resident angry friend. And we needed to find him. If something had happened while we were looking for him and she'd been with us, we wouldn't have been able to defend her as well.
The plain truth of it is, I prioritized looking after you over looking after her.
Which is entirely fair. At least in my opinion, because we are family.
Thank you, Ipsis. Yes, that's how I see all of you.
And I'll just put my hand on Ransom's shoulder when I say we are family. No embrace, just hand on shoulder.
Family.
That's a word I haven't heard you use much.
Yeah, I've only used it about you.
Well,
And that's why we dove through the portal. When Ransom said that family was in danger, well...
That is true.
Although you were quite capable, Sylvanas, and I'm sure you would have been fine without us.
Well, once you guys figure out everything that's going on here, I'd love to hear that story.
We can definitely tell it to you. It is. It's kind of weird, but very funny and random all at the same time.
Scrat.
What happened
What
now?
happened now?
What did I miss? I
Stefan
moved my
just chucked
laptop purposely
another-
so I could see my other screen.
Stefan TJ's just chucked another 25 pounds away. Thank you. Let us know what you want to do with that donation. I'll do the donate command so you can see how much everything costs. Let us know what you want to do. Thank you.
What is happening?
Honestly, this is so.
I'm really getting
Validating.
emotional.
We had a
Stefan, you're wonderful.
we had a terrible financial month last month, and like the love just pouring out at the beginning, like first day of June, is so redeeming. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
You the real MVP.
And so Sylvanas looks at you all and he's like, so are we gonna just stand outside or are we gonna go
Nope.
inside?
Nope.
No,
He's
I'm
just gonna
sorry.
Drag everybody in.
We do this. I'm just gonna like talk to Sylvanas. She's gonna be like, we do this so often. I'm so sorry. This is probably so weird for you. Let's just go inside.
And he pauses and kind of leans into Ransom. He's like, I've never seen you around such chatty people before.
It's exhausting.
I imagine for you it is. And you head inside, and the door opens, and you see in front of you, there's a couple of tables with some people at it, but one table in particular off in the corner with Sandor nose deep in a tankard, and a table filled with food that conveniently has 4 additional chairs at it.
Ransom just yanks back his hood and stares.
I'm just gonna look at Ransom and just be like, see, I told you it was possible. And then I'm gonna run over the table, take a chair, turn around, and just sit down in front of Sandor and be like, hey.
Lon's
Hi.
Delight is going to do the mom march.
So,
Hello.
where were you? How have you been? Also, we're kind of really upset with you because it seems like at this point that you disappeared and left us alone because you're totally fine and not in danger.
Okay, I was fucking kidnapped.
Are you hurt?
No. I think I hurt them worse. Luckily.
Who was it?
He's like, what the hell was his name again? Yes. Johan?
Oh, was it the ones that I turned the crazy lady and the crazy guy?
yeah.
Damn sister, or whoever the hell she is.
Oh, so this is like real serious. They really don't like you.
I don't know. We didn't talk about it. I mostly just kicked her and then kicked him and then took my swords and left. And now I'm here. The rest isn't important.
A
How-
really dumb kidnapping attempt.
Yeah, well, they tied my hands in front of
wrong?
me, which was pretty stupid.
Must have been the first time they kidnapped somebody.
It didn't sound
But
like they had a plan.
And I'm just gonna start eating.
Who took
Please help
Sandor's
yourselves. I can't eat all of it.
Who took Sandor's flask? Was it me
I
or
think
Ransom?
you did.
Yeah.
No, it was you.
Yeah,
After
you
a
did those.
long moment looking at Sandor, trying to analyze whether he's actually okay or whether he's just pretending he's okay, like looking for obvious signs of blood, and when she doesn't see any, she'll sort of slowly.
He looks perhaps slightly more hungover than usual, but that's not out of the ordinary, really.
Takes out Sandor's flask and puts it on the table in front of him.
You did find it. Thank you.
We did come looking for you, and then we got distracted by a pony.
What?
In a different plane, no less.
What?
And Lancelot will come around the table and sit next to Sandor.
Great. Well, hey, gang's all back together, and we're not in Weird Village anymore.
Do you need us to kill Johan?
Probably.
I
Ransom's gonna walk over now. He froze by the door. Just straight up froze.
Hello, Ransom.
He has been worried sick about you, Sandor.
Aw, that's sweet.
I'm glad you're alright.
Are you okay?
No. He's just gonna sit down.
Have some breakfast. We can kiss and make up later.
Oh gods. He's gonna make
Anyway.
sure Sylvana sits next to him. This is not this. He needs like a North Star here, and that's Sylv.
Ransom, it's okay to be vocal about your feelings if there's anything you want to say to Sandor.
I already said that I'm glad he's okay. I'm working on this.
We're right here beside you.
Ugh.
Well, thanks. It's nice to know y'all were worried. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think we need to kill Johan, but if he comes after me again, I sure as shit will.
He didn't actually hurt you?
No. I think they hit me with a dart with some sleeping shit on it or something and carted me off, but that was about it.
Oh, do you still have it?
I don't think I do.
It's a shame.
No, I don't think so. Probably would have dropped it at some point.
Yeah. Why would you want that?
We have a spy master in our midst. Maybe they could trace it back to someone. Maybe Johan isn't just working for Johan. Maybe they're being hired or being funded by someone else.
Probably not just working for himself. We rarely do.
Okay.
I was contracted. I don't know if he's a contract or a mercenary type, but either
Well,
way,
whatever he is, he's pretty freaking incompetent.
yeah, that's what this one's been saying. And he kind of jerks his chin itself. They've been asking questions about me in the marketplace very conspicuously.
Yeah, well, our monk friend, who, by the way, is apparently alive, so that's cool, I guess, set his cloak on fire to cause a distraction.
So, do you
That's
want to be a
helpful.
mage or a fighter? I can show you how to be a shield.
I'm so confused.
Are
I'm
we
sorry.
fucking joking
This-
right now?
I need to lay
100
down.
subs?
I was doing with wild magic surge stuff.
I need to lay down.
Holy
I need a
cow.
nap.
I can't even process this. How
They're gonna
does
make
one
me cry on stream.
convey this level of joy? I can't actually process it to like feel that much joy. I'm 100% like, yeah, broke. Mackenzie's coined it.
Howdy.
Thank you so much, Staffan. Again, I'm gonna turn off the notifications again because we'll just hear me doing poor voice acting for like the next half an hour. Thank you.
Wowza.
Amazing. Thank you for having the opportunity to do that, or the resources, I guess is the word. I don't know how to thank somebody for doing something like that. That is amazing and incredible, and you deserve so much love. So thank you.
That is incredible. Truly.
Wow.
I love the DM from Kelly. Please roll a D100 when you regain your ability to think. Valid. So freaking valid.
How does anything work right now?
Wow.
For the record, everybody will soon have rolled on my random roll table, and they will be coming into play throughout.
Oh,
I'm so
God.
excited. I'm so excited.
I feel fear.
I don't know what else to do except for just spam the hyper mode. I'm just gonna spam the hyper mode for a minute. I'll just be sitting in the corner.
Okay. Let's just go back to roleplay. That's safe.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the world that I actually understand.
I will say at this moment, Ipsis, belly full and just hearing conversation, is going to kind of kick back and take out her gemshorn and just play it very softly for everybody. Just some mid-morning tunes, you know? Just some mid-morning vibes.
And actually, Ipsis, as you do this, you realize that you're kind of leaning up against the outside wall, and there's a window that's open behind you. And as you begin to play, there's actually some small little birds that land on the windowsill and begin to kind of chirp along with you playing. They seem to be somewhat entranced.
Ipsis is Snow White, confirmed.
I was just gonna say I'm a fantastical Snow White, a tiefling Snow White.
One down.
And I'll, like, as I'm playing, I'll, like, kind of, like, shift my hand so I can play with one and see if a bird will kind of crawl on my finger. And just kind of play. And just hang out and watch everybody for a minute.
The bird totally hops on your finger.
Yes.
And it's just like tweeting along.
Cool. I'm gonna bask in this moment for as long as I can.
You know what? Nothing shocks me anymore.
Nope.
Did they mention why they were taking you?
Nope.
Sandor, roll looking at a character sheet, because I'm not sure what I should ask you to roll for this.
I'm so glad another DM does that, because I have to do that all the time. I'm like, what
Constantly.
What do you roll?
Who did I jilt this time?
Let's just do insight.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Or survival.
I take it those are both bad.
We'll go survival, because I think I'm better at that.
You have an advantage.
Yeah.
No, that was not bad.
So you as you're kind of sitting there trying to process everything that's going on with this bird chirping kind of in your face, you are trying to recall kind of the kinds of things that they talked about, and the gist of what seemed to have been said, based on what you can put together, is it felt to you like Johan and this woman he was traveling with, they seemed to work kind of for another kingdom. They kept arguing about if this was a good idea or not. It seems like they have recently kind of fallen out of favor with the boss, and they were trying to kind of get basically a big score, kind of information from someone. They mentioned Ransom's name several times, as well as your family name. But they're arguing about Johan seemed this whole time very confident that this was a great idea. The woman that was with him, less so.
Welcome, Raiders. We won't see it for a while because Streamlabs is trying to process all these subs that are flooding in. But welcome, Team NTG Nerd Meat. Welcome. Thank you so much.
I'm still in shock.
Okay. So yeah, Sandor's kind of sitting there for a moment thinking about this. Well, sounds like they're on the employ of another kingdom. They were looking for information. Heard your name a few times. He kind of nods to Ransom.
I was afraid of that.
And my name. Well, not really my family name, but
The name of the house you're from.
the house, yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Probably looking to score big, which joke's on them.
Well, you're a bit too much to handle for rookies.
Yeah, I'm also not worth shit, so bad day for them.
I think
Well,
you might.
then
I think you might be worth more than you realize.
Ipsis will stop playing and kind of put away the Gumshorn and look over at Sandor. Well, I mean, I'm not an assassin like Shimmer or anybody else that apparently is trying to capture us or deal with us in some sort of way, but it seems that like if the person who hired Johann and his sister, oh, if it mean or if he meant to do business or they meant to do business, then wouldn't they have picked somebody that could handle you if they knew who you were? It sounds like the person who might have sent them after you doesn't really know what you're capable of or the power that you have. Seems like kind of a shoddy deal.
I think it's more that they thought that he would be an easy target. If they were looking for an easy score, and if they were mentioning my name and his old name, then they were trying to find some way to rise through the ranks. They underestimated.
Severely, it seems.
Trained for a while to be like Shimmer, and this doesn't smack of her work, I wouldn't say.
It just hits me in an odd place. I mean, like, why? And like you said, Sandor, they tied your hands in front of you. If they had been contracted workers or done anything like that before, then wouldn't they had some semblance of how to contain anybody, whether they were strong or weak?
Think.
That's a serious misstep for somebody who's contracted.
Sounds more like it sounds more like they're specifically contracted to the kingdom, and that this wasn't a contracted job.
That's
This
pretty
was just
likely.
something they thought was a good idea.
Yeah.
More fool they.
Yeah.
I still think we should hunt them down. I don't like that they're asking questions. I don't like that they took him, and I'd like to give them some retribution for that. And I also still need to make sure Sylvanas is safe here.
Whoa, could you go back a second?
Hmm?
That
No.
really though?
It's so nice to see you two getting along.
I
Alright,
have
fine.
so many
If we're gonna
regrets.
Kill him.
Oh. Sylvanas. Sandor.
Hmm?
Sylvanas.
Oh. Okay,
Hi.
2 questions. How old is this kid? And how
A
cute is
kid! A kid!
Good.
16, 17. No.
Well, I'm only
He's actually not that much younger than Sandor.
No. Ransom will murder.
Yeah, Sylvanas is like 16.
I remind you that Sandor is a whopping like 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's a child.
Oh boy.
Sandor grew into a mess at a young age.
I totally forgot. I really did. I totally forgot that he was like 18. Oh my goodness.
After this morning on completely normal as well, with like Mackenzie,
Oh,
we already
yeah,
dealt with this today.
there's so much discrepancies in age.
Oh my days.
Oh boy.
At least that one
Anyway.
was clear cut.
Anyway.
Okay. Whew.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. It's good to meet you too.
He will very politely shake his hand, looking at Ransom the whole time.
There's a very protective gleam in Ransom's eyes. Like, you try anything, you are dead. It doesn't matter that he's now admitted he cares. You're dead.
You can tone down the murder face a little bit. I'm not gonna do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Sandor, I think that Ransom cares about Sylvanas maybe just a little bit, only a tiny bit more than they care about you.
That's fair.
I give up. I can't. Say what you will. There's no point denying anything anymore. lost everything. The will to fight is gone.
Right, so we want to do something about Johan and that sister of his.
Yes. Specifically, I'd love to know what they thought they were going to gain from all of this.
Is it important? As far as I'm concerned, as long as they're not chasing me anymore, I don't give a shit.
It could be.
As you look around, you notice that it's kind of late morning. It seems like this is not busy tavern time. Kind of everybody else who had come in to get breakfast has kind of left. The place seems fairly empty. And so Soren kind of comes up to you. She's like, oh. I think this would have been the first time that the three of you had seen that she was here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the gang is all back together again. Wonderful.
Yes, we are.
+1.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we adopted a kid. Lucky us.
I'm not that much younger than you.
Yeah, well, I have to treat you like a kid or he's gonna kill me.
Now there's gonna be now everybody. We just had this whole thing about like the fact that I can. Never mind.
There's a
Hey.
reason. There's a reason.
If it helps you, Sylvanus, I'll treat you just like I treat everyone else.
Which is
Like a kid. And Soren is watching all this, and she's just like, can I get you guys anything else?
Answers.
A refill?
Give me a second. And
You're a peach.
Have you seen Maritza, Soren?
and so I think Soren kind of pops back over to the bar and refills Sandor's flask basically for him, and kind of looks around and realizes that there's nobody else in here, and then goes up to the front door and switches the sign to closed. The sign that says it's always midnight, we're always open. There's actually like a closed, and that's all it says on the back. And locks the front door so that nobody else can come in, and kind of comes back and pulls up a chair and sits by you all. Saying, Maritza's back in dusk.
Hey,
Well, she's back in the midnight that's in the forest outside of dusk.
how many of these are there again?
Right now, half a dozen, maybe more. I don't know.
Soren,
I can just kind of.
Are you building an interplanar chain?
An interplanar enterprise?
I thought they were all the same pub, turning up everywhere.
I thought the same thing. I thought that you just took the building and put it somewhere else.
Oh my god, Soren, you have a conglomerate.
This is amazing.
It's a franchise.
Wait. How do you, Soren, how do you travel from midnight to midnight then?
This is a lot of questions, guys. Okay, first of all, it's a little column A, a little column B. Okay, like they pop up where I want them to when I want them to. I can have multiple at the same time, right? They're kind of loosely connected. There's some weird. I would explain it, but it's a lot of physics.
That's bullshit. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. So like right now, there's like 6 of them. There's the one in dusk, there's the one in dawn that are both still operational. There's a few others that I've got keeping an eye on things in other places. This one is probably a temporary establishment. Once I get you guys back where you're supposed to be, I'll just and Manny's will come back again. Poor Manny. I think he decided to retire when I showed up, which is, a good choice. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, I keep my hand in a lot of things, keep an eye on a lot of people.
where we're supposed to be, so we need to head back to dusk.
I mean, you need to head back to that plane. You can really pop up in any of them if you want. If you want to go back to the woods, you can go back to the woods. If you want to go back to dusk, you can go back to dusk.
Okay.
I feel very guilty about leaving Maritza.
Last that I checked, hold on. Last that I checked, I think she's still hanging out in midnight in the woods. The woods in midnight. I don't know. And this location doesn't really have a name. The one that's out in the woods. Where you last left her? They decided to wait around a couple days and see if you came back.
Could you let her know that Lawn's Delight will be coming back for her?
I can do that if you would like.
I think it would be appreciated.
Okay. I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how comes midnight doesn't get tilted?
Well, that's kind of a longer explanation. And she steps back and she stands up. And you see this like shimmer of light kind of come over her, and she seems to get quite a bit taller. And Ariel is standing in front of you.
Oh, for the love of. Well,
Has it
You
been
guys
you
needed
the
a
whole
guide.
time?
Okay.
this was a twist.
Is nobody who they say they are?
No.
I'm so confused.
It's alright, just get trust issues like the rest of us.
Oh no.
I'm the perfect example.
Yes, you're totally perfect. Anyway, could you please explain what the hell is going on?
Well, you guys seemed like you needed a lot of help. Oh, hold on. I don't like this one very much. You guys seem like you needed a lot of help. I'm supposed to be kind of your guide. I've been around a lot. In fact, let's just everybody take a nice deep breath. And Soren is gonna walk up to Ipsis first, and she's like, "May I have your hand?"
Sure.
She takes your hand and she just holds it in hers, and you see kind of a vision of a temple and a small basket with a crying tiefling baby in it. And on the steps, and you hear Soren's voice. It seems like you're looking at it from her point of view. And you hear Soren's voice, and she just goes, "Well, man, this is the one. No, I'm telling you. She needs somebody to take care of her. Yes. You need to no, don't shake your head at me, young lady." Here. No, she's gonna be fine. You're gonna do a great job. You hear Mantra. She's like, "I don't know if I'm ready to do this. This is I told you I wanted to help. I wanted to get them all together. I wanted to make sure that they were ready, but this seems like a lot." And Soren's like, "I promise. You can do this. She needs you." And you see kind of Mantra steps forward and kind of takes the basket with this baby in it and heads back. And the vision ends. And you see Soren standing in front of you. She's like, "I've been there a long time."
I'm gonna just wrap my arms around her and just give her the biggest hug. And just let her go and kind of like pat her hair because I probably messed it up, and just pat her on the shoulders. Just thank you.
I mean, you can thank her. She was the one that raised you. I just put the two of you together. And she walks up to Sandor. She's like, "May I?"
Have at it.
And you see your instructor sitting at a tavern that Soren seems to be walking into. And she just kind of hands him a piece of paper written on it. It's like, this is where you need to go. You wanted to help. You wanted to help one of the next ones, and I think this is one of the ones that's going to need you. Be good to him, though. He's had a rough time of it. I think you'll be able to help. And he just goes, yeah. Thanks, Sword. Yeah. I'll take care of him. Make sure he's ready.
If you'll excuse me, everyone, I just have to go to the washroom.
Nope. Nope.
Sandor looks like he's about to be ill.
Ransom grabs Lancelot and goes, I have a feeling that I have to suffer through this too, which means we both do.
And Ipsis Soren will go to Ransom next and ask permission.
Oh, 9 hells.
And rather than one key memory, you instead have these flashes of different people wearing different faces. Maybe someone who, a priest at like the first temple you visited when you were considering committing yourself to the Raven Queen. Another individual who maybe made sure you picked the right weapon at a stall. People kind of flashing in and out through your life, all wearing the same faces, and all of whom are wearing something. Maybe it's a purple satchel, maybe it's a purple ribbon, a bow in their hair. And Lon's Delight, if you permit Soren to do this.
And sort of look around the table at everyone else who has done, and begrudgingly offer my hand.
You are taken back to that inn from several years ago where you first set out on your own. And you remember that there was, maybe it was an old woman or in the corner who you spoke to for a while, who saw that you seemed down and kind of came up to you and just tried to boost you up. Do you remember this conversation?
Yeah. It's okay, my sister will be back sometime very soon. She'll come and collect me.
You know, maybe you don't need to wait for her. You can get out on your own. You seem like a strong, capable person.
Yes, I can look after myself. But my sister, she needs me.
I imagine there's a lot of people out there that could use someone like you. Tell me this, is your sister capable? Can she protect herself?
Who from?
Just asking.
She can protect herself against most people, but not these people. That's why she needs me.
It's very noble of you to want to protect her like that. Protect your family.
Noble?
Yeah. People need people. And it's good people that are there for each other. Has anybody ever told you that you're good people before?
I'm not very good at my job.
Sounds like maybe you just need a new job then.
I have to do something soon. My father only paid for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
You know, someone as caring and tough as you, I imagine you could find work just about anywhere. Protecting people. There's a mercenary group that I know of that visits town every so often. Sure they would love somebody of your skills.
Oh no, I couldn't. I have to find a way back to help my sister. I don't want to talk anymore. Thank you.
Okay, well, if you need somebody to talk to, some ideas to toss around, I'm happy to chat. I wish you the best. And here, just in case, I'm just gonna write the name of that group down on a piece of paper, and if you know, maybe if you need to pass the time, do something until your sister comes back. Maybe they'll find you something to do.
Excuse me. And Lon's Delight would half run away, but she'll remember that the seed was planted and it was only a couple of days until she sought out that mercenary company. Originally with the plan to work for them and stay in the hotel for when her sister turns up.
And then there's Soren. Back in midnight.
Our entire lives have led to this.
That's bullshit.
We were orchestrated.
I'm sorry if it means anything. It's kind
Yeah,
of my
well, for
job.
what it's worth, your ability to pick is kind of shitty.
I think that remains to be seen.
I think I disagree. I'm just still. We were orchestrated. Everything about us.
No, I can see why these people around the table are wonderful people, but I agree with Sandor. You're choosing Max.
It's funny. I think that the two of the best people at the table just said that they weren't.
Oh, I wasn't talking about me.
Oh, I was.
That's bullshit, Lance. You're fine.
You are.
I really do need to go to the washroom now.
And Soren just kind of sits.
Right, so everything you've done has led up to this blah 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 destiny bullshit, whatever the hell. What do you want?
I want your help.
Cool. Pay me like everybody else does.
Ending the game.
What?
We learned some things when you were kidnapped.
It's
Entirely
more than
on accident. It was more the goal to find you, and instead we found answers that led to more questions than answers.
Great. Want to fill me in so I'm caught up with the rest of the class?
You want me to do it, or do you want to, since you have more cards than any of us?
I still have to play by a lot of rules. Just like everybody else.
You remember
can-
Tristan?
Fill in as much as I can, though.
Appreciated.
I overstepped once already. the
Yeah.
fire and the brimstone-y smell. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not explode you again.
I would prefer that, too.
Do you remember Tristan? The flashy Asimar? The one that I said was more powerful than he should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Easy to remember.
Apparently, there is a game orchestrated by the gods. I don't know what the end game of the game is. I don't know what the rules are. All I know is that 2 players are selected and one is supposed to kill the other. Tristan is one of the players. He doesn't want to kill the other player. The game has been going on too long, and the entire... this plane, the plane we were on, and probably all of the others are suffering for it.
You all are the backup plan.
We're supposed to stop it. The spy, the caretaker, the entertainer, and the wanderer. You.
Okay.
Mind you, they also haven't explained how we're supposed to stop it, why we're supposed to stop it, what the game is about, why the game is happening, what the rules are. But we did find this. He holds up the journal.
Oh, you got it.
Yes, and none of us can read Celestial.
Oh, that's my bad.
Yes.
Oh, hold on one second. Here you go. And Soren kind of like bops you on the forehead, Ransom.
Real quick question. How close does that touch come to one of his horns?
Not that close.
Okay, good.
Soren knows better.
Yeah, she would, huh?
And you...
Scrat's thinking face. Oh no. I've given ammunition.
And you look down at this book, and if you open it, you can read it.
Oh, that's helpful. Thank you.
It should be permanent, as far as I'm aware. Consider it a gift.
Useful. Not enough to make up for knowing that the entirety of my life was an orchestrated play, but to start.
I mean, if it helps, I'm just as...
Yeah, you're a pawn in it
orchestrated.
too. You're a pawn in it too. It's clear from the fact that they exploded you.
Yeah, I mean, they asked me to do a lot of things. They've been asking me to preside over this game for the better part of forever at this point, and I'm a little tired of it.
Well, that
but-
seems like shit.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're one of the ones with wings.
So, how do we find whichever one of these gods it takes to stop it and go and punch him in the gut?
Well, I mean, I've been brainstorming a lot about that for a long time. You can see my notes in the back of the journal. Everything from poisons to magic artifacts to gods to I don't even know anymore. Spells and yep, kind of been working on this one a long time because I knew, we all knew, it was only a matter of time until the games didn't work anymore, didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Is the
Great.
purpose of the games in here, or do we need to ask you that?
You can. In there is the whole story from the beginning.
Beautiful.
I've been around a long time. Big gist. Sibling rivalry.
Of course it is.
The other Sibs tried to keep it from ripping apart the entire universe. Decided best way about it was to put the rivalry external.
Fantastic.
Make it so it's not the gods fighting. But,
Avatars of them.
a lot of... Basically. But... now we basically have to figure out how to end two people with godlike powers. Who, well, you know what happened. You know why they won't just end the thing themselves.
Sandor, can I have your flask?
Say please.
Please.
He tosses it over.
He takes a very long swig and then hands it back.
Not bad. Then again, it is fresh. Although it definitely doesn't taste like whatever Soren put in there because it's been mixed soundly.
I don't even think he tasted it.
Alright, well, I am good at literally 2 things. 3. One of which is using this. The other of which is using this, and I won't talk about the third. So,
A spy,
point me
not
at what needs to die, and I can do that.
a godlike powers. You think you can kill a god?
Haven't tried yet.
Yeah, you know what? I probably wouldn't bet against you if you got determined enough.
But, I mean, I guess step 1 is to get you back to where the
Where the
people in
fighting is.
question are. Yeah. Point you at it.
So we need to leave again.
Probably. I mean, it's only temporary.
He still shoots a very guilty look at Sylvanas.
Who has been sitting there listening to this the whole time. It's
Yup.
Like looking kind of slack-jawed.
Poor kid. Poor kid.
Xander will just kind of reach over with his sword and like close their mouth gently with it. You okay there, kid?
This is a really great story.
Yeah, great, except we're literally involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with
That
any
sucks.
luck, you won't have to be.
I mean, I could be.
You're like training to be a blacksmith, right?
Yep.
You know anything about magic swords?
A bit. There's some books back in the forge about it. There's some people at the temple who bless swords and things like that for folks. I haven't made one myself, but first time for everything.
That's a start. Because as nice as these are, I don't know if I'm going to be cutting any gods in half with it. Not without some help. And I'd really
Well-
like to over with.
Well, hopefully you won't actually have to face one of the gods. We just need to kill a player.
Whatever.
Who are
Whoever-
godlike.
Yeah, but they get worn out, they get drained, they get, there's opportunities.
So we need to pick out whichever one is the weaker link and then take them out.
Good enough for me.
Is Lon's the light back yet?
She would probably be just about returning. She would have spent a long time in there looking at the mirror and looking at the bathroom window and sort of thinking about,
Oh no, don't abandon us, please. Please.
But
Or
she-
do. It would be really interesting.
She would be like, essentially she's trying to look in the mirror and see what Sandor and the others see after Sandor corrected her, and she decides to stick around, but I think more for Maritza and the fact that she made a promise and that reminds her too much of her sister.
Ouch.
Oops. Well, I could just
You
about
okay?
hear from the bathroom. Yes, I'm fine.
Do I believe her?
I was wondering if you fell in.
We can insight deception roll if you like.
I would like to.
And Lons, I think you come back just in time to overhear the discussion of them talking about killing somebody.
I'm gonna use my advantage.
Oh! Damn!
Also, that's fine.
So close! Yeah, I guess he believes her. Damn it.
Yeah, so you're able to come back and sit back down or stand or however you like, and like I said, you come back and you hear them talking about killing somebody, and you get a look from Ransom.
Pretty much.
Well, my sword is already magical, as is this knife, whether they will cut gods or not. I do not know, but I believe this one was forged in the realms of my mother, so it should be demonic, whether that means it cuts gods or not.
Well, you got one up on me. Mine's just a sword.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel very ill prepared to be fighting godlike beings. I do illusion magic. I have fun and I like to make people laugh. I don't think making a godlike being laugh will do anything to help in this situation. I feel extremely underprepared.
You can make him laugh and distract him so I could cut him down. Or
Yeah,
Lons.
I guess, yeah, that could work. You
My
know
s-
what? That could work.
My skill set is healing and finding out people's secrets.
Excellent.
So basically, I'm just here to keep you guys alive.
So you keep
Well, that
us
second
alive.
one is handy.
You keep you create us an opening. Sandor is generally sassy and does a lot of damage, I assume, and I make sure that I keep the healer alive.
Oh, wait, distractions. Wait, I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. And she'll kind of like rummage in one of her like deep bag pockets that she's got, like, because she carries her sack with her all the time, and pulls out her deck of cards and puts them on the table and slides them over to Sandor. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before, but this could really help us out. They're probably really smart, and it might not work, but at least it's something that's a little bit more on the heavy side. Have you seen one of these?
It's a deck of cards?
It's a deck of illusions. I can make very amazing things with these, and I don't get to use it very often. So
That
maybe
would probably be handy then.
if we get lucky enough and they aren't as smart as we might think they are, this could be a way in. This could be a huge advantage.
I don't know shit about magic, so I'll trust you on that.
And I'll take it back and I'll like look at it like really excitedly, and I'll put it back in my bag.
So, Are we planning on killing a god? Anyone in particular?
It's either Tristan or his opponent.
Wouldn't that unbalance some sort of scale or something?
I think that's the idea.
The problem is that the scales are too balanced right now, I think. With neither one of them having won, with neither one of them being gone.
And how many years have they been fighting exactly?
For as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
This particular pair has only been going at it a couple of months, a couple of weeks. Hasn't been very long.
But they are
Time is low.
champions for some greater cause, right? Well, if we're going to kill a god that is used to fighting for millennia, do we think that the fighting will merely stop because they no longer have an opponent?
Well, if we essentially force the game to pick one or the other,
I say
that
if these
god
are the only
gets
two
more-
with the... I say if these are the only two with a problem, why not both?
Well, it's hard to say what would happen if you killed both contestants, because they're not actually the gods. They're just they're,
Toys.
representatives.
Oh, why would we go for
it-
the representatives if the gods are the problem?
Because the representatives are the ones that we can reach,
Hmm.
realistically. The representatives are the ones who won't end the game on their own terms, so we've been called in to do it for them. Either we convince one to kill the other, convince one to give up and die, or we kill one. Those are the only options I see.
And then, in somewhere between 500 to 1,000 years, whenever a god gets bored again, we'll do the next round.
Fantastic.
Not us.
No, not you. You're the failsafe for this particular round.
Great.
I don't... You see, I like to solve problems that put people in danger, and it seems like we're not really solving this problem so much as belaying it.
The gods are always going to use mortals as their toys. What I'd like to know is is it multiple gods for each contestant, or has one god chosen each?
One per.
One per. Can you tell us who, or is it in the book?
It's all in the book.
He's gonna skim read real quick to see which god picked which person.
And I have that somewhere in my notes. You see that the gods listed, you recognize their names, being familiar with them. You see that one, they're both, both of them as somewhat neutral in nature. They're a bit like your own goddess, who maybe they have a flavor of that is they're normally thought of in one way, but it's all really about balance and doing things the right way. One is somewhat more good aligned than the other, and you know that the tiefling contestant is the current Chantel
Avatar.
is the avatar for your good aligned.
Mhm.
Tristan is your avatar for your somewhat more evil aligned god.
So, which way do we want to tip the scales? Because this tells me who's where on the map. Tristan has a slightly more evil neutral god, and then the other one, the tiefling, the golden one, Chantel, is with the more good aligned neutral god. Again, neutral, but shades of gray, varying.
Doesn't matter.
Just like
to
all of
me.
you.
Helps. Tristan's infinitely more punchable.
Lons?
Is there an avatar in that book of Bloodin?
Skimming for that name specifically.
No, you don't see it come up.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, then. I don't mind.
As you skim, you do recognize Mantra's name.
Mantra's in here.
Oh, which god chose her?
She was the good side.
She was the good side of her particular game, it looks like.
And it looks to be the last game, the most
And
recent game.
He will
However,
share that information.
That does seem to be about 500 years ago.
He will also share that information after kind of freezing.
Oh?
Is Mantra an elf?
No,
Oh,
not
dear.
by a long shot.
She a
I
druid?
No, not a druid either. As I
Hmm.
casually look in my notes of what I remember her being, because I don't. Hold on.
She was something.
She was something.
I was
I don't think
100%
you'd
just doing the
specified.
same.
I
to
didn't
remember.
actually specify.
Oh boy.
I think that was she's literally the only character that I wrote down that I never specified of what she was.
However,
So
500 years is still going to be very old for an elf. So
yeah.
anyway, you swing it.
Right. I mean, I didn't. I always kind of figured she was like, I don't know, half human. She just seemed kind of normal. She didn't have pointy ears or horns or a tail or anything crazy. She just seemed pretty normal.
Fantastic.
Azamar, maybe?
Maybe.
Potentially. I mean, she never confided in me that information. Probably a good thing. But she won.
I mean, Soren kind of stops and she's like, those who win do get prizes. Depending on the deal with their deity.
Prizes to the tune of a few hundred years?
Yeah.
The gods, there's not much that isn't possible.
Shit.
You have to have some reason to, have skin in the game.
You're risking
the
certain
last-
death.
Yeah. The last winning game was for the good side. Do we continue on that or do we flip the scale?
Does it really matter?
Everything always needs to have some sort of balance. If the world is tipped too far in either direction, chaos will reign either way.
Wow. Nice to see you're as cheerful as ever. I don't really care which side we pick. You just tell me which one I need to hit.
I'm with Sandor. What difference does it make?
It could make a world of a difference if we choose the wrong decision.
That's what I'm thinking too, Ipsis. If we picked the wrong one to die, we could be...
I mean, maybe I'm too introspective on this, but if the last people who potentially picked Mantra to save and made her win, if this happened before, I wouldn't be here if not for her. I feel like that's a big deal. We could really influence the world, even if we're not around to see the influence we make.
Right, well. Sandor stands up from his chair and kicks it back into the table. You let me know when you've decided the fate of the world, and I'm with you. And he's going to stand up and step outside.
If he gets kidnapped again, I quit.
Do you want to go and check on him, Ransom?
I think
could be
maybe he
good.
needs some...
For the two of you to, check in on each other. I know you were worried about him, and I know you can't really express those feelings in front of the group. If you wanted a chance, now is a good time.
You're really pushing for this, aren't you?
I'm not pushing for anything. I'm just stating options.
You did say you were concerned in all fairness.
Fine. Fine. Lonzo, I did mean what I said earlier. Pretty sure you're the best of us here. And then he's gonna head out.
Sandor's pretty much just outside the door, not doing anything in
Yup.
particular.
Yup.
He's just people watching. He's posted up against the side of the inn.
Ransom just kind of slides out and shuts the door behind him.
You need something?
Checking on you.
I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you looked pretty pissed.
See, none of this shit really matters to me. You tell me that we're apparently responsible for the fate of the world. That's great. It's not going to affect my decision. Like I said, I do 3 things real well, and that's it.
Yes, well, we all have our talents.
Yep. And, no offense, but I don't give a shit about the gods either.
It doesn't offend me. Just because my relationship to my god is close doesn't mean everyone's should be. Your faith and your lack of it, it's your business. I respect it either way.
That's nice of you.
I know, out of character.
Nah. You're nicer than you give yourself credit for. I always knew that.
Really?
Yeah.
I am glad you're alright. I don't like uncertainties.
That's a really, really circumspect way of saying you were worried, but I'll take it.
I'm trying. Look, it took you getting kidnapped for me to allow myself to say I care about any of you.
Yeah, well, I haven't left, so.
Yeah. Caring has always been a liability. It's why I left Sylvanas here even though I didn't want to. Because the people that I care about get hurt. Because of what I've done and do.
Your whole spy bullshit thing?
Pretty much. It's what I'm good at, though. Like, you're good at 3 things, I'm good at 2.
Do we need to find out what the third one is?
I don't think there is a third, but optimistic of you.
Well, that's good of you. If a little selfish.
I think we're all a little selfish, even if we don't want to be.
A little? Oh, no. Completely.
Yes, I forgot. You're very narcissistic.
Yep. But I own it.
You do. What do you make of this, though?
This whole game
You
bullshit?
You really not care? Does it really not matter to you? You're not concerned?
Not really.
Tell you a secret, it scares me to death.
I noticed.
I'm used to my decisions and my actions having weight. They always have. Sell these secrets, somebody's going to die. Sell these secrets, a noble house might fall. Sell these secrets, someone else might rise. It's all a part of the game. This is a much wider scale. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, you got a good head on your shoulders. If anyone should pick, it should be you.
I think it more should be Ipsis.
She's real clever, but
Or Lonsdaleite. Lonsdaleite's got a much more level, practical head.
you think so?
When it comes to caring about outcomes, I think. She cares about our outcomes. She cares about the outcomes of people.
She does care a lot.
It's brave. Caring is brave. I'm not good at it.
You're fine. You're figuring it out.
And what about you?
What about me?
Do you care? Or do you let yourself, or do you just truly just wander the world without letting it affect you?
Sure, I care. And I care for the 24 hours I'm with somebody. Care deeply about them. And then I let it go. It's real simple.
Seems hollow.
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who hasn't let himself care in years.
Yeah, well, it works for me.
Or is it just easier than everything else? Because that's why it was easier, it was safer. Maybe it's better to care. Just food for thought.
Man,
Sometimes the hard things are the things worth doing.
you know, you've come a long way.
No, I've just stopped fighting.
Yeah, well.
What's the point in denying it when you can already see it, all of you? I do care, I care deeply. I just wish I didn't.
Right, well, speaking of caring, before Mom gets worried, we should probably head back inside.
And you didn't even get kidnapped this time.
Yeah.
Please don't
Not
do that
really
again.
mad at that.
Please don't do it again.
Do I march up to them and say, hey, would you mind kidnapping me? No. They dragged me out a window in the middle of the fucking night.
Maybe scream next time? Just a little?
They hit me with a dart of some shit. I couldn't say a word. Believe me, I would have done something if I could have.
Yeah, well, at least you got away. And he's gonna kind of flick Sandor with his tail and then open the door for them both to go back in.
So, when Ransom left Ipsis, Lonsdaleite would have been like, and gone right over to the door, and as you open the door, you'll just see like Lonsdaleite just.
And then the entire time while she's doing that, Ipsis was probably with Sylvanas just being, do you wanna see a cool trick? And she just like takes Mage Hand and is just like tapping people on the shoulders and like moving things around and like fiddling with Soren just to like make the kid laugh.
And Ipsis, that bird that had hopped onto you earlier is like asleep in your hair.
Yes!
Since it's such a mess.
I love it. That's fine. That's fine. I'm totally about it. I have a bird friend now.
Thank you, Tater, who
Bird friend
gifts
home.
gifts a sub to Madadash. Thank you so much, Madadash. You have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice. So many subs today. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Have fun eavesdropping?
Sorry it wasn't more exciting. Or heartrending, or whatever the hell you were hoping for.
Honestly, I was just making sure you weren't killing each other.
I was not
in the
going to
middle of
kill
the
him.
street.
I wouldn't kill him. He's just gonna walk back to the table, sit down, and put his head in his hands.
Nah, he just confessed his feelings for me. It's fine.
Are you okay, Sandor?
Yes.
Okay.
He goes and sits back down.
And at this point, I think with everyone in the room, Soren stands somewhat suddenly.
Are you okay, Soren?
Someone just tried to get past the back door.
What?
They couldn't do it. Don't worry.
Like someone tried to break into here.
Yeah, I upped my security after you went poofed out the window.
Much appreciated.
So someone tried to break into this physical location just now.
Yeah. There was a jiggle at the back door. Somebody thought I was as simple as a lockpick.
We should check that out.
Well, I have to get you guys
Maybe.
back.
Oh boy.
Nonsolite will meet Ransom's eye and slide Sylvanas the vicious dagger.
So do we go greet them or what?
Well, just make sure you guys get back here tonight. I can get you back to the other realm, and we can get this thing sorted.
Sure thing.
You know, don't go getting yourselves killed.
No promises.
It's never really the objective, but if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, remember?
Right.
So, before we leave, Soren, is there a window above the back door on the second floor? Or is there a window that I can see the back door in?
Yeah, I mean, there's rooms you could peek out.
Well, just so we don't go outside blind and not sure which direction or who is trying to mess with us, might as well go upstairs and see if we can spot anything from it out of any of the windows. It's a little bit safer alternative than just running outside, especially if somebody's trying to get in.
We should handle this, and then we need to finish this game.
All right, and Ipsis is just gonna start like heading upstairs and approximately, because we've been through the back door before, just go up to a room that she assumes she can see or kind of peek out of to see
Yeah,
anything.
at this point, you know the layout of this place really well.
Okay, yeah. So I'll pick a room, knock on it, make sure no one's in there, if the door is closed, and then try to sneak up to the window.
So as you peer out the window, Ipsis, roll a stealth for me. Okay, and you're able to peer out the window, and you see at the back door, Johan kind of throwing down his lockpicks and kind of stalking off.
Sandor followed
Grumpily.
her into the room, but did not go to the window. So, well, see anything?
And you'll notice that he looks very singed all around.
Your, for lack of a better word, infatuated, obsessive lover tried to break in with some really awful lockpicks and seems rather singed.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. He's gonna go to the window and, how? Can I jump out the window?
Oh no!
Please.
You are 2 stories up. You're
I
on the
know.
second story. Okay.
No.
I'll use an advantage for this.
Hey.
Oh no.
Okay. Are you trying to? I'm imagining you're just being dramatic about it, right?
Yeah, I'm just being dramatic about getting in his face so I can club him in the back of the head with my sword.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that you're landing. I'm gonna say that you're landing outside. You're gonna need to make a dex save, actually.
Okay. All right.
And simultaneously, while Ipsis watches him start to run out the window, I will cast Message and point in the direction of where I remember the table being to Lon's Delight and say, hey, Johan was at the back door and Sandor just jumped out the window.
You hear
In
the
which
sound of
Ipsis is
hooves
the
hitting
only
the floor.
intelligent one.
You find
And then
you-
I will also jump out the window behind Sandor.
I take it back.
Okay,
hooves
well,
clatter
Sandor-
along the tavern floor.
Sandor,
Listen.
you
Go ahead.
managed to superhero land this and are good to go. You feel a little bit of a twinge, maybe like in your knee. But you're
Yeah.
young, you're spry.
I'll feel that later, but it's fine. He'll walk it off.
Ipsis, if you're jumping out the window.
Yes, I would like to use my advantage on this as well.
Okay, and you're fine.
Girl.
Well then.
In
I'm a
fact, do you want to
graceful
describe
bird. Yeah,
how well you jump out this window?
Like a cat.
so I imagine like after watching Sandor just kind of like fling out, I'd be like, oh no, and then like kind of like hold on to the edge and kind of leap over it, hang from the edge for a second, and then kick back from the wall and like just kind of like have that extra little bearing and just immediately like I'm facing the wall, so I do this like super dramatic turn, and then I get up and just start sprinting like or trying to catch up to wherever Sandor is and wherever Johan are.
Yep. Yeah, Sandor just basically, the moment he had his feet on the ground, got back up and is running at Johan to take him down.
Yeah, and he would have heard you clamoring out the window, and would have taken off, because he is alone.
That's
Um,
good.
Best. The best time to get him.
Ransom and Lon's Delight, you've received this message. Do you want to respond to Ipsis at all?
I will respond by dashing towards the back door.
I take 1 second to pause. I kiss Sylvanas on the top of the head and I just say, stay safe for me, please. He does this symbol over his mouth and then books after Lon's Delight.
I'll be at the forge if you need me.
Okay.
Good.
What a cherub. What a sweet cherub boy.
I would die for Sylvanas.
That's basically the description I had of him, by the way, was I will die for him. So
Yeah, pretty much. The goodest boy.
And Jess,
Yep.
I have a very important question.
Oh no.
Sure.
Are you going after Johan to take him out or to stop him?
Stop for now.
Huh?
Kill
Stop
him later.
For now.
Stop him for now. Okay.
Kill him if he decides to be annoying.
Okay. Then let's see how well you stop him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
like, stop him in the sense that if I must and can, I will straight up tackle him to the ground.
Cough,
That's what I was
hamstring him.
expecting you to
Cough.
say.
Hamstring him. Cough.
I mean, if I have to nail him with the sheath of my sword, I will. But whatever it takes to knock him down. But
Okay.
not cut him in half. I'm not trying to do that yet.
Roll that athletics for me.
Sure.
And this, how
Oh.
this happens is not graceful for anybody. This is for either party member. Like nobody in here looks very stylish as this happens, but you're chasing after Johann, whose cloak is slipping because it's like ripped apart and tattered. And he actually loses footing and kind of slips on one corner of it just enough for you to be able to knock him to the ground and kind of conk his head against the pavement. And so you've taken him out fully.
Great.
The two of you are kind of laying in a heap on the cobblestones.
Cool. I'm gonna get up and grab him by the collar and pick him up.
Oh God!
Hello,
Oh,
cutie. And I'm just gonna headbutt him to knock him out.
As you say hello, cutie, he just goes, "Oh, I really fucked up, didn't I?" And you headbutt him to knock him out. And I think that's the scene where we will close today on. Because that seems appropriately traumatic.
So powerful. So powerful.
We were missing the drama without Sandor, and now it's back, and I feel whole.
Trying to figure out which one he's doing at the minute.
All of the
To
above.
be fair, though,
Not number 3.
a little bit of number 3 with that last line.
Well, so much love poured our way this game. So many donations, so many subs. I think we're at around 135 subs or something crazy this session.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. A large amount of those are due to Staff and TJ. Thank you so much. But thank you everyone who's donated and helped out in any way. It means a heckin' ton. Did I update the credits? I hope I did. I did. So yeah, we'll be heading over to the Discord where we can talk about this session and all of the wonderful things. I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening processing the love that's come our way. Check out all of the links which are currently being posted in chat by the bot, including places you can support us, places you can. I love that raid cry. We're using that. Hello, cutie. We've got places you can support us. Sponsor information. Check out Bird and the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press. And also, there's a whole bunch of stores where you can get 10 to 15% discount using our special codes. Please check those out also. We will be heading over for a raid using the raid cry Hello Cutie, which is just fantastic. And yeah, we will see you all same time next week for more Tilt, and tomorrow at 2 p.m. For some Nightborn. So we will see you then. Catch you later, everyone. Bye. Keep on evoking emotions.
That's right.
Scrat.
It was actually the Velvet Room, which had been swallowed by the distortions.
Thank you so much, Scrat, for that raid. What's going on, Potato? Mike Halloween, Scrat himself. Little cup of Joe. Thank you, Ewan, for the $5 saying, kick that cup in the butt and show it who's boss. Also buttons. Thank you, Ewan. Hello, Soft Signal. What's going on? A Kelly. Oh my god. It's another Kelly. I used to be one of those. Wait, together. A Kelly. Do you know what we make? Hold on. Is it showing up? That's what we are together. A Kelly. We're the Kellys. That's us. I've been waiting. Brother, it's been too long. Also, this is the end of Persona 5, so watch out if you would like to see more of this on your own. Get the hell out. Leave.